receivers for the Patriots. To the far side, it is Brock Forsey. He's the tailback, maybe one of the featured offensive players. Instead, the kickoff short fielded at the 22 by one of the up players, who carries it upfield about 10 yards.
Kind of up in the air and didn't get very much distance on it. And so they're going to start out with good field position. He just picked up the ball and ran to the left sideline, was knocked out of bounds.
And the quarterback, as we've mentioned, for the Centennial Patriots will be Matt Swanson. Swanson takes the snap, three-step drop, looks to the far side, pass is intercepted far side by Seitz in the flat, could go all the way, 10-5, tackled near the end zone, and he's in for the... Unfolded with the bad snap, it wasn't, but everything clicking right for the Bruins with 11:44 remaining in this first quarter of play. 7-0 or 8-0 Twin after the interception return. We'll be back with the Bruins kickoff. Ryan Seitz, 40-yard interception return for touchdown. The point after on the two-point conversion good. The Bruins up 8-0. Kickoff this time will settle in at about the 28-yard line. The Patriots field it, running up the near sideline and up over the 35-yard line before being pushed out. One of the up backs in the formation again we see for the Patriots on the return.
It's Matt Rasmussen,
same guy that returned it last time. Patriots, same spot they were a snap ago, only this time down 8-0. We'll call it the 33-yard line. And Matt Swanson has to be a little shaken here. He's got triple wide receivers to the right, single setback and handoff on the draw for maybe a yard gain up to about the 33-yard line. And for the Bruins, on the stop, Jason Goodpaster, Dan McMullen, couple of linebackers converge on the running back. It'll be second down, and we'll call it no gain.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Twin Falls did last week, was they were able to control the line of scrimmage. Meridian would come out and try to run that quick block trap over the line of scrimmage, and Twin Falls' line was able to control that, and then they were able to capitalize when they went in the air.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Patriots offense. Backs aligned in an I. Receivers 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Snap and hand off to the I-back. Straight up the middle, big hole over the 50. Down to the 45. Cutting to the far side is the tailback Forsey. Could go all the way and he'll score.
Yeah,
touchdown.
Brock Forsey.
He got the handoff in the I formation and field. Then his speed and the angle did the rest. And so a 67-yard touchdown, 2 big plays in 4 snaps from scrimmage.
Yeah, it is. And that time he kind of came through the line of scrimmage untouched and went about 15 yards. No one was even around him. He made a cut, got some, not really blocks, but just some interference run by his down receivers and was able to go in untouched.
Matt Swanson will bring his offense to the line of scrimmage, see if they can get the 2 points to tie this one up. Same I formation that they scored the touchdown on. Play action, back to pass Swanson on a crossing route over to this side. It's good on the 2 touchdowns scored. The Bruins will get their first offensive crack at the football. Bruins fielding it at about the 10, return straight up the middle over the 20 to about the 24-yard line. And that's where the Bruins start off. Fernando Salinas with the ball carry straight up the middle. I'll make that George, I think,
yeah,
34.
It was George. They brought the ball up right up the middle and actually ended up running into one of his own guys, and then Centennial was able to wrap him up.
From the 24, the Bruins have it 1st and 10. A receiver flanker to the far side. Backs are split tight end Plum to their side. 4-man front defensively for the Patriots. Running to the far side, Salinas. George gets a nice hole. Makes it over the left side tackle for about 6 yards. They'll spot him down at the 30. It'll be 2nd and 4.
That time is a quick dive on the left side. George Salinas took the ball, was untouched until about a gain of 4 yards, and then someone hit him low, and he kind of did a somersault forward.
Ringenberg, the receiver to the near side. The 2 Salinas brothers split behind quarterback Ben Coring, who is working on a sore ankle after sustaining a sprain this week in practice. Coring on the little rollout to this side, hits George Salinas on a crossing route to the near sideline. He catches it at the 36, carries up over the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Gain on the play of 12 and a 1st and 10.
And that's the first completion, first pass attempt for Ben Coring. He found George Salinas, and that time he kind of put him out of bounds, and he ended up tackling him on the pole vault track. It's kind of a late hit on that, and that's kind of a dangerous place to be bringing someone down.
Well, for the place where you speak, Tom, it is about 10 yards out of bounds. Single setback, Bruins going with the run. Big hole develops on the right side, and being ridden down after he crosses the 45 to the 48-yard line is Salinas, the linebacker to the left side, making the stop. But the Bruins offensive line, as it has done consistently through this year, beginning to control things.
Yeah, and I think that's an important key for the Bruins tonight, is to control the line of scrimmage, and they've been able to mix it up with pass and run, and that's when they've been the most successful.
Flanker wide out to the left side, single wide out to the right. Handoff, Salinas starts up on the left side, then cuts it back to the middle, and George may have the 1st and 10 as he crosses midfield, is tumbled down to the near side, and the linebacker making the stop, John Root, who's also the fullback, making the tackle, but it's a gain of about 5 yards. Should be enough for a first, though the officials look as though they want to measure. So the Bruins approach the line of scrimmage with their second 1st and 10 of the contest from the 47 of the Patriots, a 7-man front. Back to pass. Coring looks to the near side, one-on-one coverage. The out pattern is covered well by the Patriots secondary. Pass was intended on the near side for the Bruins, and Artie Duncan was tightly covered on the play by Ben Sparrow, one of the corners. Good defensive play by the Patriots on the pass.
Well, Ben Coring had time to deliver the pass, but as you mentioned, the receiver was well covered, and he threw it so that it wasn't in danger of being intercepted.
Backs are split. Receiver and a flanker to the far side. On the delay, handoff to Salinas. Big hole. Crunches his way up over the 45 down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. The Bruins will have a 3rd and 3.
Again, it's a quick hit right up the middle. The 4th carry tonight for George Salinas, and it's about 25 yards.
3rd and we'll call it a long 4 from where they spot the football. Not quite as much yardage as we initially thought. Riggin and Packard, the receiver and flanker to the far side. Backs are split. Clun, the tight end to this side. Rolling to the far side is the quarterback. Pitches to the far side corner off the fingertips of the intended receiver at about the 15-yard line. Ben Coring was rolling towards the receiver on that play, who was Eric Packard. He had a step, but that was a very difficult pass to drop over the defense and get into the hands of the receiver, but he got it close.
Yeah, he did, and actually it was a great play by their quarterback, Matt Swanson, or maybe that's 16. I thought it looked like a 15, but maybe it was 16, Dane DeBoer, who happened to look back just as the ball was there and was able to get a handout.
So the Bruins back to punt. In punt formation is Coring. He'll hit the ball from about his own 45, sends it up drifting to the right side. It'll hit at the 15, inside the 10, and roll to about the 4-yard line before it's down. So the Bruins get a 36-yard punt out of Ben Coring, no return, and the Patriots have deep in their own territory their 3rd possession of the ball game.
Well, it's an interesting formation that the Bruins have. They have Coring, the number 1 quarterback, back to punt, and they have the 2nd-string quarterback back to block. And so that's a perfect setup for a trick play if that was ever needed.
Very observant of you, Tom. I'm impressed.
It's these years of experience.
That's it. It's all these hot dogs we've had on the road. The Bruins in a 4-man front. Patriots 2 wideouts to this side. Swanson handing off and going off on the right side. The running back to about the 10-yard line. Pretty good gain to start the series of about 5 yards.
It's Brock Forsey or Forsey on the run, and he seems to be the quickest and most deceptive runner that they have, and is quick at feet and is able to make a cut and pick up about 5 yards.
He had a 67-yard run to start the football game, and it will be 2nd down at about 5. I formation in the backfield. Matt Swanson, the quarterback, calling the signals, takes the snap, hand off to the I-back Forsey, cuts it back to the middle, crosses the 10, will be close to 1st and 10 yardage. He is stopped at about the 13-yard line.
Give Jason Clunt credit on that. He was able to get through the line and almost picked up Forsey in the backfield, but Forsey was able to shake out of it, and then he was only able to pick up about 2 more yards.
3-yard gain. It will leave a third and about 2 yards to go for the Centennial Patriots. They have a receiver and a flanker to the near side. Backs are split. Receiver to the far side. Bruins with a 4-man front defensively. So that's Swanson, the quarterback, getting some movement on the right side of the defense, and that's Clunt. Along with, let's see, who else? Sam Garner. Both of them kind of twitched during the count and may be called for offsides.
Well, I would assume that we'll give Matt Swanson credit for being an experienced quarterback and giving a loud hard count to draw them off, but it was a quick, easy way for them to pick up the first down, which I thought was an important play for the Bruins to stop them deep in their own territory.
And an important one for the Patriots to pick up the 1st and 10 to keep this drive alive deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Backs in the eye. Swanson takes the snap, hands off to the far side, and getting some good yardage over the 25 up to the 28-yard line. Centennial gets the yardage again from Forsey, and the linebackers have to make the stop. It'll be close to 1st and 10 yardage.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him the 10 yards for the first down. That time the quarterback takes the ball, rolls, gives it to Forsey, and then he rolls out to the right and options out. He was able to pick up good yardage.
First option gets them the 1st and 10. Backs behind the quarterback, line to an eye, and to the eye back, running to his left. This time, stone wall there to meet. Getting off the bottom of that pile for the Bruins, I think it's Clunt.
Yeah, and Brad Schroeder also came up in the linebacker position, was able to plug that hole.
2-yard gain on the play is where they mark the progress up to about the 30-yard line. Just short of the 30 is where they mark the football. It'll be 2nd and 8. 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We're tied at 8. And Swanson looks at the Bruins defense, takes the snap, hand off to the eye back, running to his left. The Bruins fighting off the block of the left tackle. In fact, 2 or 3 Bruins are there to make the stop. One of the linebackers, McMullen, there, but also up front, Garner was there to assist on the stop. So the Bruins, 2 successive running plays, have come up with what they needed to force a 3rd and long.
Jason Clunt was also in on that tackle, and that's the second time we've called his number coming across the line, getting in the backfield and messing that up.
Bruins have their defense aligned in a 4-man front. Linebackers about 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. Back to pass, the quarterback. He looks to the far side on the slanting pattern, diving for the football. Receiver may have come up with it, and does for the 1st and 10 catch over the 40 to the 42.
And
Weikerly with a nice move had to go to his knees to get the ball up into his chest before hitting the ground, and the 1st and 10 catch of about 10 yards.
And that was 3rd and 8. That was an important play to keep this drive alive for the Patriots. And that was either a great catch or a great disguise, because he was stretched out, and it's a long ways, and the official was behind him. But they'll give him credit.
And Matt Swanson, the quarterback, has got his team on the move. Pitch and running to this side, the eye back. Looking to clear this side. Beautiful open field tackle by the Bruins. Ryan Seitz, who's got the interception return to his credit, and then an eye-opening tackle there. Got behind the blocker and then went right for the legs. Took the underpinnings out from Forsey, who was looking to go upfield, but he stopped for no gain.
Yeah, actually a 1-yard loss is the way that they're marking it, and give Ryan Seitz credit for his speed, and we know the kind of speed that Forsey has.
3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this first quarter of play. We're tied at 8. 2nd and 11 for the Patriots at their own 40-yard line. Going straight back to pass. 5-step drop, passing into the flat to the far side, hitting the open receiver to near 1st and 10 yardage over the 45-yard line to the midfield marker, and then beyond into Bruin territory. The reception by one of the receivers to the far side.
As Weikerly kind of did a down and out pattern, and once he caught it, he put a good move on Ryan Seitz, who was out there in coverage, and was able to turn it upfield and pick up about 10 yards on that.
3rd and less than 1. Backs in an eye. And the quarterback sneak is going to get the 1st and 10 yardage as Matt Swanson rumbles his way over the line of scrimmage to about the 45. The surge from the offensive line really aided him in getting that 4-yard gain.
Well, it did, and then the Bruins actually came up and they stood him up, and one of the Bruins came up to put an extra lick on him and actually knocked him forward for that additional 2 yards.
Well, this one has had quite the start. First play from scrimmage, an interception return of 40 yards by Ryan Seitz. 2 plays later, it was Forsey, the tailback for the Patriots, going 67 yards for the touchdown. Screen pass setting up in the middle. Forsey again gets it as the Bruins bit on the screen, went after the quarterback. The pass completed at the 45 and then all the way down to the 25 with the pass reception was the tailback who drifted out into the flat, got the pass completion, and a 20-yard pickup on a well-designed screen play.
It really was. The Twin Falls' defense is spread out to cover the backs, and he just snuck into the middle and actually made a great catch to go up and bring it in. He actually overthrew him.
Patriots have gone to 6 first downs, 5 of them on this drive. Rolling to this side, Swanson has some room to run, and that's what he'll do. Wanted to turn the corner, but the Bruins stretched it out long enough that they cut what would have been probably a 5 to 6 yard gain down to maybe a couple of 3 yards on the little rollout and bootleg by the quarterback down to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like about a pickup of 3. He had a lot of blockers in front of them, and student body left is what it looked like, and Twin Falls was lucky to stop it for that much of a gain.
Not much doubt as to what he wanted to do. Never brought the ball above his shoulder to even fake passing downfield. But Swanson is a good-sized QB as he's 6'2", 180 pounds. Has his backs divide behind him in the count. Takes the snap, straight back to pass. Looks to the far side, into the flat, going out to the turf for an attempted pass reception. Was the either tight end or flanker to the side. Doesn't come up with it. Passing completed about the 18-yard line.
And it looked like a catchable pass, and Forsey was the receiver on that, who has been their go-to man so far this evening. And it was down low, and he wasn't able to. Once he was pulling it in, Ryan Seitz came out and put a hit on him, and the ball come bouncing out.
Tom, big play for the Bruins defense. 3rd and 8. We saw the Patriots convert on a 3rd and long deep in their own end of the field about a half dozen plays ago. This is the 12th play in this drive coming up. It started at the 4-yard line in Centennial Patriot territory. Has now reached the 22 of Bruin territory. 3rd and long. Patriots in an eye. Swanson back the pass. Bruins with a big rush. Pass out to this side. Forsey flags it down. Looks to go inside the 10. Does down to the 7. Second time they've set up the screen with Forsey moving out into the flat. This time, instead of a middle screen, it developed on the left side of the play. The Bruins couldn't quite get pressure on the quarterback in time. A gain on the play of 15 yards.
Well, Twin Falls' linemen have to be a little conscious of that. If they're allowing them to slip by that fast, they need to start watching for sliding off and watching the backfield, the back out of the backfield.
Had they had somebody around where the receiver was, I don't know if it would have done much good, because again, he had to go up for it and did a good job of bringing it down in the open field. Backs in the eye. Eye back getting the call. Running to the far side. Forsey tripped up at the line of scrimmage and stopped by the Bruins.
Chris Wright.
Wright did a good job of fending off the block, getting around it in time to get to the running back for no gain.
Chris Forsey again was the running back. We saw one attempt by John Root at the start of the game, and 2 runs by Swanson, and other than that, it's all been Forsey.
Receiver to the right and to the left. Backs line up in the eye. Tight end to the far side. Bruins with a 4-man front. Linebackers tightening it up a bit. 2nd and goal from the 7. Play action to the far side. Quarterback rolls it and throws to the far side. Incomplete pass is overthrown, but the pass really affected by the pressure on the quarterback that came from Goodpaster. Forced the quarterback, Swanson, to really put a little more heat on the football than he wanted to.
Yeah, he had a hold of his jersey and was pulling him back as the ball was in the air. And his receiver was open out there, and it's lucky that Goodpaster put a lick on him. And that's actually about the 3rd time tonight that Goodpaster has been in on a play to hurry it up. He's had a good night.
Well, the Bruins have had 3rd and long before and have failed to stop the Patriots from converting. Here it's 3rd and goal from the 7. So the defense is playing with a short field. Tight end to this side and trips to the far side. Single setback. Swanson takes the snap, looks to the far side of the field, throws it out into the flat. Pass is dropped to the far side. Hit the receiver in the hands but he couldn't quite come up with it. And so it is 4th down and 7.
Give Craig Withrich credit on that play for getting in the backfield, getting in Swanson's face, and putting some pressure on him.
4th and 7, and the Patriots, I think, are going to be lining up for a field goal attempt. So if this is what eventuates, Bruins defense stops the Pats offense from getting 6 points on the board, and maybe with some luck can avert the 3 points here. The ball is down, kick is up, certainly long enough, and it is good.
A left-footed kicker at that, Jerry.
And the kick, was that Rasmussen with the kick? There he was.
Yeah, I think it was number 14.
Okay, it was 14. And that's...
or is he the holder? I can't... I'm sorry, I didn't pick it up.
I think it might have been, I thought it was Rasmussen. And in any event, the Patriots get a 24-yard field goal and the lead at 11-8. We'll be back with Centennial
Falls Bruins, Jerry Marcantonio on Radio 1310 KLIX.
Bruins get a big return to the left side of the field as they set up the blocking in the middle, but the deep-back took the ball at about the 5, found a slot up the right or left side, and took it up over the 30, 35, up to the 38-yard line, where the Bruins have it for their second time this evening.
We just have to look at the roster. The kicker is number 18,
okay.
Ben Tanner, who is a junior.
And that solves that. Tanner with the 24-yard field goal. Back to pass for the Bruins possession is Coring, looking downfield, has a man open. Duncan off his fingertips at the 25-yard line. Double coverage, but he was pulling away from there. They'll make that not 7, but number 1. Eric Riggin was the guy who's the intended receiver. And Riggin just about got his mitts on it.
He did. He dove and just couldn't quite get his fingertips on it. But give the offensive line credit. That time they were able to give Ben Coring time to stay in the pocket and pick out his receiver, and was able to deliver the pass.
So far, the Bruins have had a solid running attack, but have kind of gone away from it in spots. Hand off to the one remaining back and trying to cut up field as Salinas was hit around the ankles at about the 35, but momentum enabled him to get to the 37-yard line, and it's a gain of 3, 3rd and 7 for Twin.
Well, this is no doubt the Bruins are starting in good field position, but they need to. This is an important 3rd down for them early in the game. About 30 seconds left.
This could be the final play of the first quarter that has an 11-8 Centennial lead. Bruins have the backs divide behind quarterback Ben Coring. 3-step drop. Ben looking to the far side. Pass into coverage. Well covered, and a flag is thrown on the play. The intended receiver to the far side for the Bruins was Packard. He was blanketed by the coverage on the play.
I think that the defensive back over there was Matt Ferguson.
Might have been.
Number 16.
In any event, the Bruins are going to get a flag out of this. I thought it was pretty good coverage from our vantage point. Couldn't quite see how much contact between the receiver and defender, and of course, the defender never really had a good look at the football. Was pretty much guarding the receiver without knowing the football was. So the penalty, the first against the Patriots, gives the Bruins a 1st and 10.
And that moves them on into...
Tom's 50-minute photo and tanning supports the Bruins on to a year of victory. Enjoy the Linwood Shopping Center while you wait a quick 50 minutes for your prints. Tom's 50-minute photo has been serving the Magic Valley for years and years. The locals have come to trust Tom for his exceptional work. Accessories like camera bags, frames, photo albums, and darkroom supplies fill the retail shop. Tom's 50-minute photo and tanning.
And we apologize for that. It was come back to play. The Bruins were running the final play of the first half. A sweep to their side by Salinas was swarmed over by the Patriots defense. A 2-yard loss ends the first quarter of play. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Bruins when we return. Centennial with the lead, 11-8 at the end of the first period. We'll be back with more right after. Who started off to the right, and now it is Fernando moving off to the same side. Well, Fernando's a little confused. He's now lining up in the backfield. Backs are split. Coring in the count. Takes the snap. Rolling to the near side. Ben looking downfield. May run. Does. 45, 40. Dips his shoulder and then heads out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. It'll be 2 yards short of the 1st and 10, but a 10-yard pickup on the bootleg left. And the Bruins will have a 3rd and short.
We saw good speed that time on Ben, sweeping around the left end. But as he went out of bounds, he was kind of gingerly to make sure that he doesn't step in another hole over there.
So the Bruins will have Ringenberg and Packard, the receiver and flanker, to the far side. The two Salinas brothers aligned in the backfield and offset to the right. Tight end to this side. 4-man defensive front for the Patriots. Running to this side, and the Patriots are there to swarm it under. Running the counter to the near side. Salinas had no room whatsoever. And I think that time it was Fernando.
Yeah, that was Fernando on the carry. They faked it to the right to George and gave it to Fernando on the left cutback, and Centennial was loaded right there for him.
2-yard loss, and the Bruins have a 4th and 4 from the Centennial 36-yard line. Patriots leading it 11-8. Coring to punt for the second time tonight. His first time, he got off a 36-yarder with no return. Rockets one downfield that'll be fielded at the 8. Forsey picks it up, splits one defender, but then 2 others converge on him at the 15. 7-yard return on the punt of about 42 yards. So the Patriots, for the second time, start deep in their own end of the field, but the first time that they started deep in the Patriot side of the football field, they went 11 plays, 89 yards for the field goal from Tanner. Now they have it 1st and 10 from their own 16.
Well, I think it's Centennial certainly picked up some momentum with the long drive and the defensive stand, so this is an important drive for Bruins.
Matt Swanson, the quarterback, has his backs in an I-back inning with Alt Forsey. A good head of steam, crosses the line of scrimmage over the 20, 25, and then continues on up to near the 29-yard line. Secondary having to make the stop, but he reels off an 11-yard run and a 1st and 10.
Yeah, he did. He's showed good power that time. He had the momentum, and Twin Falls in the past, they've been able to wrap him up around the ankles and was able to bring him down. That time they tried to tackle him up high.
Brock Forsey is a junior, so the Bruins will probably see him again next year, if not in the playoffs this year, should both teams make it. Handoff, Forsey, big hole again, getting ahead of steam up to about the 35-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 5. They got a 6-yard gain.
He's been having, I'll have to get the calculator out and get a number on how many yards he's picked up, especially with that 67-yard run to start their second series down.
2nd and 4, a strong ground game has dominated this one since mid-first quarter. And running to this side, big hole, off tackle and almost breaking another as he got into the secondary. Again, we see Forsey with the stop, R.D. Duncan, but it's right at midfield. A gain on the play of 17. We've had pickups of 11, 6, and now 17 yards by Forsey. The Bruins are having a very difficult time in containing the running game.
Well, you need to give their front line credit for that. They're opening the holes, and he's coming through untouched before he's to the linebackers.
1st and 10 from the Bruins side of the 50. They've spotted it at the 48, have the officials. I formation. Swanson's just been the carrier to Forsey to run the football. Bruins cheating the linebackers up. Forsey gets the snap, handoff. Bruins really crowding the line, and then popping a gap in the offensive line was Forsey crossing the 40 down to the 39. Bruins guessed wrong as to what hole it would be. Forsey went outside tackle. The Bruins stood on the inside of the tackle towards the guard position. A gain on the play. They're going to mark it for a 9-yard pickup.
129 yards on the ground tonight for Forsey.
Wow. Big run was the 67-yarder that got Centennial's first touchdown. On the snap, Forsey with a carry again. Over the middle. Good pass through. No, make that McMullen with the stop. As he tried to cut it back, McMullen was there to meet him at the 35 in Bruin territory. But it's enough for a 1st and 10 marking at the 35.
Looks like that was a pick of about 4 yards.
Right. So the Patriots, with their 9th first down of the ball game, the Bruins have 3, and the Patriots with the lead at 11-8, looking to add to it now. 9 minutes and change remaining in this first half. Matt Swanson looks at the Bruins defense that's getting closer and closer to that line of scrimmage, forcing it to stop the run to the opposite side, and the Patriots are going to score a touchdown. It looked like it may have been a pitch, faked it into the middle, and then maybe the back got the...
No, he faked it to Forsey up the middle, and then Swanson just
kept it himself to the far side. So the Bruins were baited into the middle, and then the carry by Swanson, the quarterback, fooled everybody, including a few people in the broadcast booth here, at least me. That was a beautiful run and nice execution on the play. So the Bruins are faced with a dilemma here. How do you stop that offensive ground game for Centennial that has taken over?
It really has. Well, they've been bringing some stats to try to guess right, and they haven't been able to so far.
Tanner to attempt the point after. The ball is down, kick is up, and kick is good. So the score here in this first half of play has gone from an 8-0 lead for the Bruins to an 18-8 advantage for Centennial. The Patriots will kick off to the Bruins when we return.
To the voice of the Twin Falls Bruins, Jerry Marcantonio on Radio 1310 KLIX.
As we return the Bruins to kick off, trailing by 3, the kick will drift to the far side and come up a bit short to about the 15-yard line, where Forsey fields it, is really hit hard at about the 25-yard line. And they'll spot the ball near the 30, at about the 29, where Centennial has its next possession.
Well, that was an important drive for the Bruins to be able to to establish their offense. It was able to give their defense some time to go on the sidelines and talk about some adjustments to make and get a blow.
So for the Bruins, need to stop here. Centennial, Matt Swanson, who had a 35-yard run last time his offense was on the field. Play action, pass over the middle, hits his intended receiver over the 35 to the 42-yard line is where the pass and catch go to. It's up for a 14-yard, 15-yard gain.
Matter as the Headwater Sports has been going on for at least 2,800 years. We're talking about ancient redwoods.
On the play.
So the Bruins give up a 1st and 10 there. And the Patriots have a 1st and 10 from their own 45. Backs it an eye. Matt Swanson, the quarterback, takes the snap. Play action. Looks to the far side. Fires a shot to the far side on the out pattern that is caught. 41-yard line is where they mark the ball in Bruin territory. And a 1st and 10 catch of 15 yards.
That was Jeff Jones on the reception. He made a good play that time. Swanson just threw it down low where only he was able to pick it up, and he went down on his knees and pulled it in.
1st and 10 from the Twin Falls 41. Backs in the eye. Bruins in a 4-3 defense. Hand off to the eye back. Forsey is hit in the backfield and dropped there. The defense.
Jason Clunt, who was the man that wrapped him up.
I think it's Travis, but nonetheless, Clunt does the job on it.
I'm sorry.
No gain on the play, and the Bruins haven't had enough of that defensively of late against Meridian. Or against, well, I had plenty of it against Meridian, against Centennial tonight.
And that was one of the first times that they stopped Forsey out of the backfield.
2nd down and 10. The receiver and a flanker to the near side. Looks as though the Bruins are going to go with single coverage there. At the side to which the quarterback rolls, looks downfield, throws the ball downfield. A slight step by the receiver over the shoulder attempt is not there. Not bad coverage. The coverage was adequate onto the inside of the field. The ball went to the outside, but the receiver couldn't come up with it at the 6-yard line. Would have been a real circus catch had he been able to hold on to the football.
That time Swanson showed good skill, and he was in the kind of a rollout position, what they call a rolling pocket. And Twin Falls needs to get pressure on him. or else they're going to be in for a long night because he's such a talented quarterback.
3rd and 10 for Centennial. Weikerly was the intended receiver that time. Receiver and a flanker to this side. The flanker position occupied by Weikerly. Back to pass. Swanson has time over the middle. And trying to come up with the catch. Coming off the line of scrimmage was the tight end, I think. He never was able to hold on to the football. Hit him in the hands. Bobbled it as he was going to the turf. Still trying to bring it in. Never able to, but that play was open.
It was wide open, and 2 or 3 of their big plays tonight have been right over the middle, Jerry. I think that they've discovered something with the defensive formation of the Bruins, and that middle's been open on screen passes as well as quick looks over the middle.
Well, Swanson's going to do something novel tonight that he hasn't attempted yet, and that's a punt. As he takes the snap, no pressure, delivers a high floating kick that'll drift to the far side, and looks as though it goes into the end zone. Does. And so the net on the play will be about 20 yards. The kick of 40, and the Bruins, really, whether you say it's because Centennial didn't get the job done or for whatever reason, defense comes up with a stop, a much-needed one for the Bruins' cause. A chance for Twin with 3:25 left to maybe get the equalizer here or take the lead.
Yeah, I think that...
With Ben Coring, the last 32 to Eric Packard. Point after not successful, but the Bruins leading by a 21-18 count. On the kickoff, Centennial bunches it up to the far side of the field on the left, returns it up over the 20 to about the 22-yard line. So it's basically pick 'em, Tom. These offenses have showed that they can move the football, especially on big down plays, 3rd down and long. Both of them have done it. So that sets up an interesting second half, but certainly with 1:37 left, we'll see what Centennial can do here. 1st and 10 from its own 22, the Patriots with Matt Swanson, single setback, 3 wideouts. Back to pass, 5-step drop, looks to the far side, delivers the pass to the far side, not able to hang on to it, was the receiver to the far side, and it goes incomplete right at the 1st and 10 marker at about the 32-yard line.
Well, that time, Matt Swanson had time to go back and deliver the ball. He threw it to number 20, who is
Ben Allen.
Ben Allen, who plays a lot of defensive back, and that time it went right through his hands. There wasn't a defender around him at all. He just didn't focus on it.
2nd and 10 for the Patriots as 2 receivers to this side. Back to pass. Swanson looks again to the far side of the field. This time hits his receiver. Coming up with the catch over the 35 to the 37-yard line and a 15-yard gain for a 1st and 10.
That was to Ben Allen that time. He made the reception.
Patriots with their 5th first down of the quarter and their 12th of the ball game. Swanson sets up, looks to the near side, hits his receiver. The Bruins there to make the stop after an 8-yard pickup to the 46-yard line. Coming up with the catch is Weikerly. Andy with about his 3rd or 4th catch of the night.
Yeah, and R.D. Duncan came up and laid a good hit on him.
It's 2nd down and about 2. Swanson looks to the far side, hits the receiver on a crossing pattern in the middle. The Bruins unable to make the tackle immediately, and cutting back into the middle down to the 2018 17-yard line, we see Ben Allen again. Big pass and catch. Bruins missing the tackle at about the 30-yard line. 34-yard gain.
I think it's going to come back, at least part of it, because there was a clip.
Maybe that's why he couldn't get the tackle there.
Yeah, the defensive back was turned around to try to cut back and get him, and the other receiver down there put a hit on him on the back, and he was able to get around him and picked up another 20 yards.
So if it's from the spot of the infraction, I think it's still good enough for a 1st and 10. They're picking up the flag at about the 32-yard line and walking back from that point. So the penalty against Meridian pass play goes for, I believe, 28. And now back to pass goes Swanson, looks over the middle, hits his receiver who bobbled it and came up with a catch. Had to go down to his knees. Duncan with the stop on the pass reception that was brought in.
Nick Hilton is the one that picked it up for Centennial, and that's his first reception of the night.
Hilton's a 6'4 senior, launched to 300 yards in offense in this half alone. They have just been ripping up and down the field, both on the ground and in the air.
Go ahead. I was going to say they have been, and the first quarter they were able to pick up the majority of their yards on the ground, and then the second quarter we've seen a powerful offense in the air.
So Centennial able to put points on the board, looking to regain the lead that the Bruins had gotten back after scoring 13 straight points. Centennial, with 43 seconds left in the first half, has it 1st and 10. And a pass to the far side, pass over the middle is complete near the 1st and 10 marker.
Just a quick hit on the left side, a little slant in. He takes 2 steps and hit it
at about the 15-yard line.
Ben Allen.
And they're going to mark it for a 1st and 10 at the 15. So the Patriots moving down the field. 35 seconds left. Pass into the near side corner. Receiver there. Touchdown for Hicks, the receiver, who beats his man into the corner of the end zone. Artie Duncan protecting on the inside, but the pass perfectly thrown over the outside shoulder. 16-yard touchdown pass.
Nick Hilton is the receiver on that. We have, that's the 19th pass attempt tonight for Matt Swanson in the first half. He's completed one, that's the first touchdown, but he also had one picked off first play of the game.
So the point after is coming up from Tanner, the point after attempt. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it's good. Still with 31 seconds left, so the Patriots needed 1 minute and 6 seconds to go 78 yards on 7 plays and 1 penalty. Driving Forsey back to about his own 28-yard line. Looks to run to the far side, goes up between 2 defenders, and then runs into 2 others who tackle him at the 38-yard line.
Looks like it was Brian Price was in on the tackle, as well as another one of the Bruins. I didn't see his number up there, but they were able to maybe pick him up after a 4 or 5 yard gain.
46-yard punt on the play. Centennial starts from its own 39-yard line after the 12-yard return by Forsey. He lines up in the eye. Matt Swanson, the quarterback, hands off to his featured back, who tries to cut up to the right side, turns it back to the middle, is tackled after about a 2-yard gain by the Bruins.
Brad Schroeder was the middle linebacker, who came up and made the stop after about a 3-yard pickup by Brock Forsey.
Forsey, with the run of 3, crosses the 40 to the 42-yard line. 25-21 Centennial. Weicherle, the receiver, to the near side. He's joined by Jeff Jones in the flanker position. Back to pass goes Swanson. Looks over the middle. Overshoots his intended receiver. It was wide open. Breaking into the open was Forsey, who got by the linebackers or safeties. Couldn't tell which, but boy, he was open. Had the pass been there, he'd been in for 6.
Yeah, he was. And that time, he kind of put a play on where they've been successful. The first half was a little hitch in the middle, wide open. He gave that fake and then turned it as a streak down the field, and he was able to get behind the defenders.
You know, it might be a little daring, but the Bruins, as they send Ben Coring into the secondary, as Coach Mark Shaw said, he would be trying to use one of his key athletes, Coring, in the secondary on critical situations, and he's got him there now. 3rd and 7. Matt Swanson takes the snap, back to pass, has time, looks over the middle, pass is deflected and knocked down to this side. Pass deflected up into the air and then tumbled into the turf at about the 48. The interior push on that defensive front is what got to the ball. Pass was low in its trajectory. The Bruins able to get a hand on it.
I don't know if it was Chris Wright, but he was certainly back there putting pressure on Swanson, and so good. It was a good push by the front line of the Bruins. Defense
doing the job on this stand here on their defensive start for the 3rd quarter. Score remains 25-21. Swanson to punt. Hits the football. Nice spiral kick. Goes to the far side. Fielded at the 10. And run to the far sideline over the 20.
They blocked it well.
The kick on the play. Forsey again backpedaling. Will field it at the 30 or 28-yard line. Is slowed down and then hit. Dropped at the 34.
Looked like Jason Goodpasture was down there for the Bruins to put pressure on him first.
45-yard punt, 6-yard return. And Centennial has its second opportunity of the second half of play, starting from its own 34-yard line.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. We've had 2 3-and-outs for the Bruins and 1 for the Patriots, and it's completely different than what we saw in the first half.
Well, so far. We'll see what the Patriots do here. Near side receiver for them is Nick Hilton, who's got a touchdown pass tonight. He draws single coverage from Duncan, who gives him all sorts of room. Hand off and running up the middle, finding a little bit of a seam, is Forsey. He carries over the 34 to about the 36-yard line, a gain of 3.
Yeah, he's been the workhorse for him tonight, no doubt about that. Picked up 133 yards in the first half and looks like about 6 yards so far here in the second half.
2nd and 7. Hilton, the receiver, to their side, and the flanker and a wide out to the short side of the field. I formation. Bruins bring their linebackers very tight to the line. The outside backers, anyway. Hand off, and the Bruins are there to meet the play right at the line of scrimmage. As Forsey didn't have any room whatsoever, and we see Travis, that is Travis Clunt, again, coming up from the bottom of the pile.
Travis, not Jason. Looks like they got him for a -1 yard. That time, Twin Falls called the perfect defense for the play they had called, and an audible could have hurt the Bruins, but that time Swanson ran the play and Twin Falls snubbed it.
3rd down and 7. Bruins need to get a stop here. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Hilton, the receiver, to this side. Forsey is in the slot, I believe, in the single setback. Back to pass. Goes the quarterback down the middle. The Bruins come up with the pass interception this side as it is Blake Coring with the intercept. 27-25. Twin Falls leading Centennial. Kickoff drifting short to about the 10-12-yard line. Fielded there and run up the field nicely over the 30 to the 35-yard line. Goes the deep back Forsey, who's been doing a lot of work tonight. You kind of wonder if he's getting tired.
I know. I would be getting tired. I'm tired of watching him. Every time you turn around, he's going out for a pass or running the ball or returning a punt, returning a kickoff, and he's a talented young man. As you mentioned earlier, he's only a junior.
Centennial will send a receiver and a flanker to the near side. Bruins with their defense staying in that 4-3. Matt Swanson, the quarterback for Centennial, takes the snap, play action, looks to the far side, throws a dart for a 1st and 10 pass and catch up to about the 46-yard line. 12-yard pass play.
Nick Hilton was the receiver on that play. That's his 3rd reception tonight. He caught a touchdown pass in the first half.
Gets the ball there in a hurry and not much chance for the defender to make a play on the football. Matt Swanson, pretty good strong arm on him that we've seen so far tonight. From the 46 in Centennial territory, 1st and 10 for the Pats. I formation this time in the offense. Hand off to the I back, and Forsey is hit in the backfield and dropped there. Clunt again, I believe, is the guy who hit him in the backfield to knock him off his feet. Might have been
Chris Wright was also back in there.
Wright was the guy in there, and let's credit him with a fine play. Got in the backfield, hit Forsey about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He was able to get to the line of scrimmage and maybe half a yard more.
Yeah, he did all that leaning forward, but great penetration.
2nd down and 9 from the 47 in Centennial's side of the field. I formation, I back getting the call. Forsey, no, the quarterback with the keep. Far side is collared down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Great fake run by the quarterback. He optioned it to himself, bootlegged it off to the left side, and ran it downfield. He is stopped at the 37-yard line, Tom. That's a 16-yard run.
And that's the second time that he called that play tonight. The first time he picked up about 35 yards for a touchdown in the second quarter.
27-25, Bruins trying to protect the lead, but Centennial may be finding its feet here in the second half offensively with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in this third quarter. On the draw to the far side, boy, some tough running there by one of the few times the fullback has got the ball. Is that Root? I think his second carry tonight.
Yeah, it is the second carry, and that's the first time he gained any yards. They're going to move the sticks up about 4 yards.
4-yard run, and all of it was accompanied by a Bruin tackler around an ankle or around the shoulder pads. Good effort on his part.
Yeah, he's a big kid. He's 6'1", 200-pound fullback, so he carries a wallop with him.
Second down and 6 for Centennial. Bruins come out of the 4-3 defense. I formation in the backfield for Centennial. Receiver to the right and left, and the I-back getting a call. Big hole opening up to the right side. Cutting inside the tackle goes Forsey. He's getting some help on that offensive line on that run as he goes inside the 30, inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, and a 1st and 10.
Yeah, Ben Coring was the safety who came up and made the tackle, so you know that you're in trouble when your safeties happen to stop your running back. Pickup of about 8
or 9 yards on the carry, and it's 1st and 10 from the 24. Flanker and a wide receiver to this side, I formation, defense at a 4-3. Matt Swanson, the 6'2 quarterback, play action, 5-step drop, now pressured, rolls to this side, lots of room. He's at the 20, 15, 10, could score, does. Touchdown. Swanson, like a runaway freight train, really. He's a big kid once he gets downfield. Gets into the end zone on a touchdown run of 24 yards, but there's a flag in the secondary, or in the backfield.
Yeah, there's a flag in the backfield.
Boy, this is a big play if it's against Centennial. Huge play.
Yeah, it is. I missed the call for the official. Was it an illegal block?
It was a holding call, and occurred right when the quarterback decided to roll out to their side. And that's a 15-yard penalty. Wipes out the touchdown, which would have been the second of the night for Swanson, and puts Centennial in a bit of a hole. That is the 5th penalty for 60 yards now against the Patriots. 1st and 25 for the Pats. They're at the Bruin 43-yard line. Swanson hunches over center, takes the snap, throws it downfield to, I don't know who. R.D. Duncan was trying to come up underneath it at about the 10. He just took 3 steps back, and just so the pass play goes for an incomplete throw.
That's the first time that we've really seen miscommunication on the part of the offense as between the quarterback and the receivers for Centennial.
Well, both offenses have slowed considerably here thus far in the second half. We're about 3 minutes left in this third quarter. Twin Falls leading at 27-25. Single setback, 2 receivers to the right and left. Back to pass. Swanson throws it up over the middle. Hits his receiver, who is Weikerly, who did a little curl to the inside to the 22. Got the pass, tried to move it outside, and Josh Imlay makes the stop at the 20. But it's a gain on the play of about 15 yards.
Good defensive open field tackle by Josh Imlay. He was out there all by himself, and the quarterback made a good pass, and he was able to bring it in.
Make it 20 yards on the pass completion, leaving Centennial with a 3rd down and about 6. So 18 yards on the pass play. Did I confuse you enough on that time?
Well, my eraser just wore out.
Again, a double wideout, double slot formation. Well, the slot and the wideout to the far side, back split behind the quarterback, who's flushed up into the pocket, running to this side, trying to turn the corner, and is knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. The Bruins defense, with its best concerted effort, both in covering the receivers and then getting to the quarterback as he broke containment to this side. The play is made out of bounds. Is that 51 or 61 out there?
It was Josh Durham, 51, who came up for the Bruins. Was that like a no gain on the scramble?
That was about a 2-yard gain, but a good effort by the Bruins defense, as it appeared as though he might have enough to squeak out the first down. 4th and 4. I formation. Forsey the deep back. The linebackers playing a little closer to the line of scrimmage. There's some movement on the line of scrimmage, not once but twice by the Bruins. And an offside may be coming up against Twin.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice.
I thought they could have called it the first time. And he did the same thing the first quarter, to sustain their drive in the same position. It was, only then it was 3rd and long, or 3rd and 4. And this time it was 4th and 4.
The 9th play of the drive that started from the Centennial 35-yard line is now down to the Bruins 12. It is 1st and 10 for Centennial. Single setback, and Swanson rolls to the far side, being chased by Goodpaster. Misses him. And he'll keep the football, duck his head, may have the 1st and 10 as he got close to the marker inside the 5-yard line.
He's every bit as good a runner as Forsey is tonight. At least he has been so far in the second half.
Tom, where they're marking the ball, it'll be an 11-yard gain and a 1st and 10.
He's picked up about 28 yards here in the second half.
2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the third quarter. 27-25, Twin Falls with the advantage. But Centennial, with a couple of receivers to this side, has a 1st and goal. Handoff, quick hitter up the middle, touchdown for the Patriots.
John Root on his
John Root with his 3rd carry. This time he takes it to 3 yards, in for the touchdown.
Just a quick hitter right over the left side of the center, and he met some resistance, but had a steam up and went on into the end zone.
10 plays, 2 penalties, 65 yards. Root with a 3-yard run.
That brings it up a 4-point lead. And I think
they're going to go for 2 and trying to get to a 6-point advantage. And Swanson has 2 backs behind him. Looks at the defense, takes the snap, looks to the near side, throws the football, and it is there. Catch was low, but made by the receiver, who once he crossed the goal line, went down low to pick up the ball. Weikerly, I believe, is the guy who came up with it. And the 2-point conversion is successful. 33-27. Centennial back out on top with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third quarter. The Patriots kick off when we return in 30 seconds. Getting into this one just below us and to the left, and it's an exciting one to really get into, as the Bruins have the lead at 34-33. The kickoff will float down the middle. Nice kick. Fielded by Forsey at about the 8-yard line. Tries to run it up the middle, does so. Cuts it to the outside, almost, but he is dropped there by the Bruins at the 21-yard line, and it is Ryan Seitz who started all this way back in the first quarter with an interception and return for touchdown.
Yeah, and then Ben Coring picked off an interception at the start of the second half, and Twin Falls has made some big plays, and then they've been able to capitalize on them. That's the important thing.
Centennial 1st and 10 from its own 22, 10 minutes and 42 seconds left in regulation. Again, it's 34-33 Twin Falls. Receiver to the right, receiver to the left, tight end to the far side. Backs are split, and Swanson, the quarterback, back to pass, has time, looks downfield. Now the pocket collapses and he's dropped. The sack by the Bruins came with the assist of the secondary. And for Twin Falls, it was Chris Wright again.
I was going to say, give Brad Schroeder credit, because he stayed at home in the middle linebacker, and he wanted to pass over to the middle, and Schroeder was right there. He had to pull it back down, and they were able to sack him.
It looked as though it was Wright who got to him, but nonetheless, whoever did it for the Bruins, it was due to good coverage in the secondary, because the quarterback did have time to throw the football. Matt Swanson looked to both sides of the field before being dropped to the turf. 2nd and 16 on the first sack of the night, I believe, for Twin. Back to pass. Swanson, under a lot of pressure, is in trouble, throws the football downfield to get rid of it. He was setting up for the screen. Guess what? The Bruins stayed on the receiver that time, and then chased after the quarterback. You talked about those adjustments, Tom. There's one of them right there.
Yeah, that was Jason Goodpaster and Ryan Seitz both in there putting pressure, and ended up putting Swenson on his back in the end zone.
Well, whoever dropped off from the rush and stayed with the receiver did allow them to chase after the quarterback. They took the screen option away. 3rd and 16, and has to be an unsettled offense right now for Centennial, as the Bruins have come up with big plays on successive downs. Back to pass. Swanson looks over the middle, fires the pass, hits his receiver, crossing the middle. Duncan with the tackle on the receiver, crossing the 40 to the 42. 26-yard pass play, and it's a completion to Jeff Jones.
Nick Hilton, I thought 83.
I thought it was, well, could have been 83. I thought it was 80, but we'll credit to Hilton the pass completion. 26-yard gain and a 1st and 10 for the Patriots.
It was tough to pick up the pass in the air. Swanson threw that so hard. It was a bullet.
9 minutes, 41 seconds, and counting. 34-33 Twin. I formation behind Swanson. Looks at the defense. I back getting the call. No. Play action over the middle. Looking for the receiver, completing the pass to about the 45-yard line.
Ben Allen, I think, was the receiver.
And I think you're right.
He goes quite a bit on defense, about 11 yards.
So the Patriots beginning to find themselves again in this drive. It started from their own 22. They crossed into Twin Falls territory. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. The clock stopped for a moment. An official timeout.
Looks like
on
an
the field.
equipment repair.
One of the Bruins getting the helmet back on. And now the clock starts to roll. Matt Swanson looks with the trips to this side. Handoff, fullback straight up the middle. The Bruins there to meet it after a 3-yard pickup. John Root with the carry. The tackle by the Bruins at about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, Shorter was up, stayed at home, and hit Root low that time and brought him down after about a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
They'll mark it for a 4-yard gain. And Centennial has a 2nd down and 6. Trying to march down the field and get the equalizer in this ball game. Receiver, flanker, and a slot back to this side. Trips to the wide side of the field. Single setback. Back to pass. Swanson has time. Looks over the middle. Had the receiver beating sights over the middle. That was Forsey, but the pass long. Forsey was at the 15, outstretched the pass down to the 10. Incomplete, 3rd down and 6.
And that time, Swanson had time to stay in the pocket and deliver the pass, and he was slapping his head because he overthrew him. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 6.
See, in the first half, he hit for a good percentage for 181 yards. In the second half, he's only completed 4 passes in 10 attempts and had 1 picked off.
Yep, 1 interception. We would like to maybe see another interception come along right here.
Weikerly, the receiver to this side. He's joined by Jones in the flanker position. I formation, 3rd and 6. I back getting the call. No, the quarterback calling his own number. Turn to the corner and hit out of bounds. Very close to the 1st and 10 marker. May or may not have it. The stop by Dan McMullen, who came quickly from a lateral pursuit position, and he stops him short by a yard of the 1st and 10. I thought he was going to get the run for the 1st and 10, but good play by McMullen to hold it to a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, and that play's been very successful tonight for Centennial, and Swanson's been able to call his own number. He fakes the option and just keeps it and runs it himself.
4th down and 2.
Don't jump off sides, Twin Falls.
4th down and 2, and the Bruins load up the line of scrimmage. Single setback, trips to this side. Swanson getting the call, getting hit from behind by his own trailing back, and he'll have the 1st and 10 by about a yard. A 3-yard pickup down.
He's getting up a little slow from there.
Well, he really got nailed from behind by his fullback, who pushed him, gave him a little bit of momentum, but also probably tagged him pretty good. 3-yard gain down to the 36.
Yeah, I don't know that he would have picked it up on his own, but John Root came up behind him and moved the whole line forward.
Well, I kind of thought that he was kind of tackled in the backfield. I mean, he eventually wound up on the other side of the yard marker, but his knees may have been dragging there for a while. Backs in the eye. Matt Swanson. Hand off to the fullback. Root trying to get some yardage. Works his way over the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. Pushing it off to the right side.
Twin Falls defended that pretty well. They stayed at home, and the option play first hit to the right side of the fullback. Picked up about 3 on it. 2nd down. Long 7 for the Patriots as we have 7 minutes. 35 seconds left in the 4th quarter. It's Twin Falls 34, Centennial 33. I formation, wide out and a flanker to the near side. Play action, back to pass. Swanson looks to the far side, finds his receiver, coming back to the football inside the game for Centennial. Not quite as explosive as the first half, but still a very effective offense when they've needed it here. 2 wideouts to the near side. I formation, Bruins in a 4-man defensive front. The 6'3", Matt Swanson, the quarterback. Looks at the defense. Long count. Hand off to the I-back, and the Bruins are right there at the line of scrimmage, breaking it up. Travis Clunt was the one that came up and hit him low.
Also getting good penetration was Craig Wuthridge, the 6'3", 200-pound defensive senior for the Bruins. It's no gain on the play. It's under 7 minutes now left in regulation. A great homecoming, 1996. The unbeaten Twin Falls Bruins trying to stay that way, trying to protect that 1-point lead. I formation on a 2nd and 10 from the Twin Falls 24. Pitch and running to their side. Forsey looks to turn the corner. Does so. The Bruins trying to stop him. 2 tackles broken. Forsey still going. Is stopped at the 5-yard line. 4.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter of play. 1st and goal. Forsey will split off to the far side. Root, the lone remaining back behind Swanson. Hand off to Root. He'll work his way for about 2 yards over the right side. 1st and goal from the 5 is now 2nd and goal from the 4. Call it a 1-yard game.
John Root, the full.
Just in the shadow of the Bruin goalposts. Receivers to the right and left, strong to the far side of the field. A spread formation for Centennial. The quarterback back to pass, throws to the far side, may have been deflected. In regulation. As he always does, Tom Tucker. Tom, we were off during the commercial break. We were talking about should the Bruins hold here, does Centennial go for the field goal? And I kind of think they will. But first things first. Weikerle, the receiver to the far side. Slot receiver to the far side is Jones. Single setback. Receiver is Hilton to the near side. In the count is Swanson. Takes the snap, rolling to the far side, looks into the end zone, throws the football. It's caught. Is it in for the touchdown? And yes, it is. Caught is made by the far side. Terrific catch by the receiver. Was that Weikerle or Jones?
It's Andy Weikerle was the reception.
Okay.
And he caught it, and the official gave the touchdown as soon as he caught it, but he got knocked out of bounds and out of the end zone.
Good drive by the Patriots that goes 78 yards in 15 plays. And believe it or not, no penalties on that drive.
It's been a pretty professionally played second half. Actually, a whole game penalty-wise. There's not been that many penalties. It's been some crisp football tonight.
Well, here's an interesting decision to go for 2. It's 39-34 Centennial. And back to pass is quarterback Swanson under a lot of pressure. Looks to the near side. Receiver falls down in the end zone. That was Jones, but a lot of pressure on the quarterback Swanson. And so now a touchdown wins the game without the extra point for the Bruins. 5:29.
I've seen 2 great quarterbacks display their talents on both sides of the ball, offense and punting and all aspects.
Great game to watch. Coring takes the snap. 3-step drop, looks over the middle, hits his receiver just short of the midfield marker. It'll be close to 1st and 10 yardage at the 49-yard line. The pass is completed to Eric Riggin, and on the stop for the Centennial Patriots, linebacker Steve Weber, who's got about his 3rd tackle tonight, an 8-yard pickup, 9-yard pickup now as they respot the yard marker.
Yeah, that's the first pass that he's thrown to Eric Riggin tonight. But as you look at that, 6 different receivers that Ben Coring's thrown to tonight.
3 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. Clock's not a problem here, but the Bruins have a 2nd and 1. Handoff, Salinas. Boy, he's right at the line of scrimmage and may not have made it to the 1st down marker. Good defensive pursuit by Scott Lee, a defensive end coming over from the left side. It's about a half-yard gain, 3rd and less than a yard.
On that time, after Ben Coring handed off the run, he just kind of pulled out, went down on his knees to try to catch his breath. He's been exerting a lot of energy tonight.
The Bruins will have George and Fernando in the backfield. Fernando in the slot to the far side, so now in motion across the formation to the right side of the field. Salinas hit at the line of scrimmage, bumps off to this side, crosses the midfield marker, and will come up with the 1st down carry. He is tackled by 2 or 3 on this right side. Dan Rasmussen, the strong safety, coming up to make the stop, but not until a 2-yard pickup and a 1st and 10.
On the kickoff on this last drive, George Salinas took it, and as he got thrown out of bounds, he was acting like his right hand was hurting him, and after he finished that run, he's also shaking his right hand again. I don't know if they got it stepped on or something like that.
It's got to be over 100 yards tonight for the fourth consecutive ball game. Back to pass. Coring has time. Pumps it. Now throws downfield. Looks for Ringenberg. Diving for the football is hit as he was going after it. Drew contact from Ben Sparrow, one of the corners. Flag on the play will draw the interference call on a 1st and 10 for the Bruins by penalty.
Yeah, and I think that it was pass interference. The defensive back didn't know where the ball was. He was just throwing his arm up, and he knocked at the receiver as he turned around to go up for it.
Pass interference. The line of scrimmage at the start of the play was the Centennial 49. This will give the Bruins a 1st and 10.
Yeah.
One penalty tonight.
Well, we call that clean playing, home court advantage. But it's been a pretty good game.
It's been fairly clean, I think. Receivers to the right and left. Backs, offset. Now in motion to this side is Fernando Salinas. Play action. Back to pass. Coring pumps once and will be sacked back at the 40-yard line. This time, not enough time to get his receivers downfield, and the sack of the quarterback is for a 5-yard loss. First sack of the night of Ben Coring.
Yeah, it is, and that time he had a man, and he went to pump it, and then he pulled it back down, and then that's when the pocket collapsed, and they pulled him down.
2nd and 15 for the Bruins. They're down 39-34. Ringenberg bringing the play in for Twin Falls.
The clock's running.
Clock's running, and right now not a problem, but the Bruins have a 2nd and 15. Need to convert here. Play action. Back to pass. Swing pass to the far side. Goes to Fernando. Looks to the outside. Will be dropped after about a 3-yard gain.
Great defensive play that time on the part of Centennial. Ben Allen, one of the 3 strong safeties that came up and was able to bring down Fernando. That's a play that's been very successful for the Bruins, and I'm sure it's been scattered out by Centennial.
3rd down and 13 for Twin Falls. The Bruins are at the 37-yard line of Centennial. Centennial with the lead, 39-34, a minute and a half left here. You have to feel that the Bruins will go to 4 downs should they need it. Receiver and a flanker and a slot to the wide side of the field. Coring rolling to this side. It's a wide receiver screen that's complete. Packard will, though, be tackled for a short gain as he goes inside the 35 to the 34. First time we've seen the wide receiver screen for the Bruins. It's complete, but only for about a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, that time Centennial stayed at home well, and it's all going to come down to a 4th and 10-yard play. Twin Falls has called timeout.
Well, probably, I would think, expect some kind of rollout. Fernando is off into the wingback position far side. Wide out and a slot receiver to the wide side. To the wide side is to where Ben Coring rolls. Looks, throws downfield. Ball is incomplete. Short hop to the receiver. Incomplete. Centennial will have the ball over on downs. And that should be the ball game.
Now that's too bad. Give Centennial credit. That time they ran with the rollout to the left, and they kept guys coming at Ben Coring. The running backs were back there blocking, but they still put enough pressure on Ben that I don't think he could plant well enough to get the...
No, he had a lot of pressure in the backfield, and the option to run was taken away almost immediately.
Yeah.
So the Bruins, looking at their first loss of the year, it'll be a tough one to take, but an exciting game nonetheless. Centennial comes to the line of scrimmage, and I think they just have to fall on the football at this point.
Yeah, I think Twin Falls has spent 2 of their timeouts.
Ball is down by quarterback Swanson. We'll call it no gain on the play. And the Bruins call an immediate timeout with 1 minute and 1 second remaining.
Yeah,
and in fact, where he kneeled, he lost 3 yards.
Yeah.
At
but
this,
they're just as tired as Twin Falls, and they came up and made some plays when they needed to.
Key plays in the second half. 4th and 4. Centennial was trailing. Got an offside against the Bruins. Went on to score and regain the lead. Bruins have responded back, though. And the other key play, 4th down. Bruins turn it over on down. Second time, Swanson takes the snap and goes down for another loss of a yard or so. Clock with 50 seconds left. You'll have to snap the football one more time, and I think that'll be it.
Yep, that'll bring up 4th down, and the game will be over. Well, it's disheartening. Twin Falls had a great game tonight. It was an exciting game to watch. The crowd was paid back for coming. And as we mentioned, we're not going to see the Bruins at home until the first. So Twin Falls will, if the Centennial will down it again, and they'll just go ahead and let the